Since his debut as a conductor 26 years ago, Carlo Palleschi has been bringing classic operas such as Carmen, Aida and Don Giovanni to life. Amidst a growing demand among opera goers for visual stimulation, in addition to auditory stimulation, the Italian conductor has been tenaciously preserving operas in their original form.
In the opera happened exactly the contrary. We want to do something original each time, and my opinion is this system disturbed very much the artistic message and also the power of the music in the theater that was conceived from the composer at the origin.
The seasoned conductor collaborates with musicians, mentors and students from around the world, including Korea. Stay tuned for a candid interview with Carlo Palleschi from Italy, the birthplace of opera, and hear about his lifelong journey as a celebrated conductor.
Hello and welcome to The Innerview. I'm your host, Pacey Jung. Now, music can provide a sweet escape from the dullness of everyday life, the stresses, and even the sweltering heat like that of today. And this episode of The Innerview is sure to be a treat for our music enthusiasts, because joining us today is Carlo Palleschi, a world-renowned conductor who is from the birthplace of opera, Italy. Carlo, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you on The Innerview.
Also, my pleasure.
And thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a very busy schedule here in Korea. How are you finding it so far? What have you been up to?
I find it very well myself because it's a long time I'm coming to Korea, so it's like a little bit kind of my second country.
Right.
Also because my family is half Korean now.
Right, because you're married to a
Yes.
Korean lady who I actually had the pleasure of meeting earlier. Very lovely indeed. So opera then, it's sometimes seen as a bit dull or perhaps a bit difficult to approach. Same in Korea, same in England where I'm from. It's seen as a bit highbrow, something that perhaps only rich people or high-class people can really enjoy. What would you say to those preconceived notions that people have?
Of course, you need a little bit education
Right.
to understand. And the problem that the first approach with opera may be boring because it's very long. Mm-hmm. So if you have some experience in the school for studying opera, you are prepared to understand better. The problem is always to understand the words. If you watch a film without understanding words, after 20 minutes is enough for you.
Yeah.
So it's better to listen for a short piece and try to understand very well what's happening in the story, and this can help to understand it, to enter in this world.
And you mentioned Florence being the birthplace of opera. Tell us a bit more about the history of opera itself. How did it come about?
This was a small group of nobles who they meet in a house, in a big palace of one of these. And they was intellectual, and they thought to reproduce the old Greek comedy and tragedy.
Okay.
And they thought that they had idea studying that in the time the Greek people was doing performance, acting and singing. So the beginning, this new form of performance was recitar cantando. It means to act while singing.
Right.
So it's important, it's not only singing. Normally the lyric artist is one actor who have to sing.
Right.
All the music is written in the way to produce some action with the music inside.
I see. Okay, let's talk about how you started in music then. I hear that you actually wrote your first piece of music at the age of 7.
Yes.
How did that start, and do you still remember that piece?
Yes. I had a little repertoire. It was very strange because I never see another boy like me that did the same. The first day they bring the piano in my house.
Yeah.
I immediately start to play, to listen sound, and to try the sounds, to do experiments. And then I went to lesson, private lesson, and there was an old woman.
Right.
Very strict, very, and she hates me, I hate her, because I don't like absolutely to exercise.
Right,
I like
right.
just play by myself with the piano. And she recommended to my parents to stop me to study because I had no talent for her. Yes.
That's amazing.
But the strange that I just not do improvisation, but I remember some piece and I put together, I build some form.
Yeah.
Also not having news or knowledge of music.
Right.
By myself, I learn a little bit harmony and some law in the music.
Right.
Then I discovered by myself. And slowly, also reproducing some songs from the television.
Ah, okay.
This was very important. So I could play many things by myself, but not the exercise. This was very important.
Right. So you kind of had this innate talent then, and this innate creativity that didn't sort of really need that rigor in the form of exercises on piano.
I think it was not so special. In the old time, many pianists and musicians, there was compositors, there was compositors, and they can improvise in the piano. Now we study a little bit too much separate. The pianist can only play what he reads, but he cannot create his music. Is not very often, about never. And the compositor can all write in the paper, but not create music. So I think we have to go back in the time of Chopin, Bach, Mozart.
Right. Did you always know that you wanted to do music? What was music to you when you were younger?
Slowly, I have some records at home. My mother bought some recordings of symphony from Vienna, from Berlin. The most important repertory like Beethoven, symphonies, and Tchaikovsky. And I listened this, and I liked very much. And then also, my mother also brought me to Roma Opera Theater.
Okay.
I saw some performance. I was very interested of listening this singing. And then when I was about 15 years, I was more and more involved in the music.
Okay.
And I fall in love with this.
Right.
And I decided this will be my future job.
I see. So you were exposed to kind of the more classical side of music at quite a young age, and you decided to pursue it. How did you, you said you started off playing piano. What made you decide to pursue a career as a conductor?
Contemporary of playing piano, studying piano, then I entered in the conservatory, I studied piano, but I continued to study composing. When I finished I get my degree, my diploma in piano.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old.
Right.
Quite advanced in composition. And then I start to work in theater, like piano coach. And in theater, you learn this job of to teaching to the singers, and you see the conductor who organizes the music. And so it's normal you have only, if you are not only pianist, but also compositor, you are becoming a little bit maestro. So then you won't become like the conductors.
Okay.
And so after this, I started also to study conducting.
Okay, and what would you say makes a good conductor? Because they're so important to an orchestral performance, aren't they? What traits or qualities must a good conductor have?
The good conductor must be a good musician. So musician means to be artist.
Right.
Artist means to be like a poet in the music. To see something is behind the note. And with your personality, to have some intuition, some feeling, deep feeling in emotion, from the text, bring out this emotion.
Right.
And this emotion, so you have in the beginning to feel you. and depend from your quality, how much you are sensible.
Yeah.
And this your grade of artistic sensibility. And then you have to send, to transmit to the players, and from the players to the public.
Right.
So you have also to know well the instrument that is very complex because there are many different instruments, and also to learn to listen very well and to balance all that.
So they're doing lots of different things at the same time.
Yes.
Because from an outsider's point of view, it looks quite simple.
Yes.
You stand in the
just
middle.
Just a few movements.
Yeah, on the surface, it looks like you're just making a few waves with your baton.
This is just this synthesis, synthesization of a big word that is behind. It's like you see driving a car.
Yeah.
It seems very easy, but everybody of us who has experience to drive the first time is dramatic. The orchestra is a little bit more difficult than the car because you have many things.
Many more players.
In the first time you listen a lot of sound. It's difficult to control.
So you've conducted many operas at world-class theatres around the world. What's been the most memorable performance for you?
There are many. Maybe I have very good remembering of Aida in Arena di Verona, or Butterfly in Italy, in Genova with Raina Kapelwaska.
Yeah.
But also I have many good remembering of Korea. Like the first time that was performed in Korea, the Falstaff, I was the conductor.
Right.
In '95. For the first time I came here. Also I performed the big production of Turandot in the World Cup Stadium.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
In front of 35,000 people. So also this was memorable.
What makes it memorable? Is it the reaction from the audience, the theatre itself, the opera singers that you work with?
Also the big production with good stage director and good singers. So the level of the production was very high in every sense.
Right.
Yes.
And who's the best singer that you've worked with, or the most memorable?
Raina Kapelwaska.
Okay.
We did Butterfly together. At the time was very famous singers. She was sing to La Scala and Salzburg. Also Kate Ricciarelli is another important soprano, but many. Leonucci, I performed a book with him, is another very important baritone. Also Brusson and Cappuccilli. I have and also this very important Luis Alva, all the big glory of the opera. So I knew all these old singers. I learned a lot from them.
Right. So you've worked with some world-class acts.
Yes,
It must have been absolutely amazing. And we mentioned earlier that Italy is the birthplace of opera.
Yes.
What would you say is the main strength of Italian opera in particular?
We said in the beginning, the language, the facility to sing, the feeling for singers, for singing. And especially we start also with opera buffa. Opera buffa is not so serious, and the characters are very real from real life, as a lot of expression of human feelings.
Right.
From the more beautiful to the horse, from the love to the death. And this is very rich, and this bring more power to expression.
Right.
Comparing with acting.
Right. So opera kind of stems from this long history of culture itself.
Yes.
But in the modern era then, theatre and performances in general, they've kind of adapted in line with the growth of the digital era. So what place would you say opera has in the modern age?
The opera, for me now, is one historic form of art, because in the present, we have not so big production of opera. The production is quite dead, but we have a lot of patrimony of the past.
Right.
Now there are other forms. We can use some new instrument, like you say, the media or projection, or new form of staging, but we have to respect how is built this project of performance from the composer. It's very important to don't change the will of the composer.
Right. So you think it's important to keep the essence of what the composer
Yes.
it had initially in mind,
Yes.
even if we perhaps change some of the way we portray.
Yes, because the composer put in music one drama. So the music is thought like kind of staging of regia to stage this drama, and each single part, each accent, also little, was very well calculated to have one effect.
Right, right.
So you can change the location, you can change a little bit the technique, but it's important how the music has to work to produce that effect, or comic or dramatic.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see you in action. You're here in Korea this time around to conduct an opera here, and we went to one of the rehearsals to get a behind-the-scenes look. Let's take a look at the video.
The Barber of Seville is a classic comic opera by Italian composer Giovanni Rossini. We went behind the scenes at one of the rehearsals. The conductor carefully observed the singers' faces and movements to help them perfect their performance.
굉장히 활기찬, 생기가 넘치는, 그리고 항상 저희가 보면서도 본받고 싶은, 나도 나중에 조금 더 나이가 들었을 때 저렇게 음악에 대해, 오페라에 대해 열정을 가지고 계속 할 수 있을까, 나도 그러고 싶다, 그런 생각이 들게끔 하는 그런 마에스트로입니다.
지휘자의 역할은 오페라에 있어서 굉장히 중요한데요. 세빌리 발사의 그 정말 로시니가 원하는 그런 템포를 이렇게 정확하게 이렇게 저희들을 리더를 하시기 때문에 저희들이 이제 믿고 선생님을 따라가는 그런 중요한 역할을 하고 계십니다.
Yeah, it's very dry. Brava.
Carlo Palleschi says he wants to present the timeless allure and emotional power of operas to Korean audiences.
So the Barber of Seville, then, it's a much-loved classic around the world, and it always brings to mind that famous baritone aria, the Largo al Factotum, the Figaro, that one. The one line that sticks out. How did you want to present this opera to a Korean audience? Did you take a new or a fresh approach, or did you keep it to its kind of classical style?
I try to respect what did Rossini, that is very alive and very fresh.
Right.
So to be fresh, we must go back to the original text, and is very modern and very actual, because it's the story of the new generation against the old generation,
Right.
the music, and the new generation, the new ideas, the revolutionary idea win over the statement, the old, the tradition. And all this is said in a comic way,
Right.
because there is the old man who wants to marry the young girl, but she loves another young guy, and so they fight,
Yeah.
and finally the whole man follows.
Very dramatic.
Yes, dramatic.
Indeed.
And all this is very fresh and with very genius composing of music, very rhythmic,
Right.
very fresh. So it's written very well.
Yeah.
We have only to do what the genius of Rossini thought, to understand and bring in the public. And this is the better thing you can do. The more fresh, the more modern.
I see. And how was it working with Korean opera singers and musicians?
Very good, very good. This is the way that I cannot learn Korean, because I am studying Korean language myself, but all the Koreans speak very well Italian.
Right,
because
right.
The great part of them studied in Italy. And so they understand our culture, they speak
Yeah.
Italian,
Yeah.
they do very well. And also Korean, they have a very, very strong education, so it's very, very easy to work with them.
Right.
Maybe just little problem is Korean education bring the people to be very serious, to don't show too much their emotion.
Right.
And in the opera must be exactly the contrary. You have to cry, you have to laugh,
Yeah.
and some we have to work in the way of acting more natural. But they are very good. They are very receptive.
So what did you do to try and bring out those emotions in the singers?
Sometimes I show them the way they have to do, because the opera conductor, different with the symphonic, you must have some kind of theater instinct.
Yeah.
There are some timing very important in performing, especially in comic. It's very important to understand, have this intuition of this comic timing. And the conductor of opera, not only comic is more difficult, but also dramatic, has to build the character together with the singer, not just do note and solfeggio and the music. The music become theater.
Yeah.
And so you must be before one man of theater, before being one man of music. Like this big composer, there was big, high-level man of theater.
Right.
And then the music came for the theater.
So you have so many things to think about and people to manage. It must be a really difficult job indeed. But going back to the Barber of Seville then, I think with the Barber of Seville, but with operas in general,
Yes.
We mentioned briefly earlier, it can be better appreciated if you already know the music or the storyline before you watch it. And for me, I especially find the love stories, the relationships that are portrayed in opera really passionate and romantic. What do you think?
I am happy that you feel like this, because I said before, in the opera, the music gives more powerful to the feelings of the characters. And this is like kind of amplification.
Yeah.
Only acting in a drama, you can have some effects of expression and emotion, but all with this sound bring this emotion in higher, more high
Yeah.
poetic level. So the emotion is stronger, especially in the extreme emotion, like pain or love. Love, death, always are the two polarities
Right.
in the music.
Opposites.
Yes.
Okay. And I hear that your own love story is just as passionate as the operas that you conduct. I met your wife briefly earlier. Absolutely lovely woman. Was it more meaningful this time round conducting an opera here because your wife is Korean?
Because my wife is Korean, I feel a little bit at home here. So
Yeah.
I love Koreans. With my wife, I learned to understand a little bit culture of Koreans, and I appreciate very much. So I feel very comfortable here, comparing with another country.
Yeah.
Where I am Weguksaram,
I
one
see.
stranger. Here I feel a little bit at home.
Good, good. Well, I'm sure our viewers are very, very curious about your finding love through opera. So let's take a look at this video.
Impressive because very beautiful and very elegant. I asked her to sit with me and turn the page. Instead of think to play, I was like this.
참 피아노를 잘 쳤어요. 호감을 갖고 같이 얘기를 하다 보니까 음악 전개 굉장히 많이 통했어요, 서로 간에. 결혼 생활을 한 후에 지금 이제 한국에 나와서 오페라단을 만들기로 했고 또 지휘자가 거기에 또 동의를 해줬고 응원을 해줘서 일단은 거기에 벌써 같은 동행인이라고 할 수가 있죠.
So your wife, son, is not only your life partner, but also your partner in your professional world, in the music world.
Yes.
How do you inspire and support each other?
But it's important to work in the same field because she can understand my problems and she sometimes gives me good suggestions
Right.
that I try to don't follow, but after later I only understand that she was right,
Right.
now. Also, if I don't understand, I try to do what she suggests.
Very big of you to admit that. And how do you think you inspire her?
I try to do the same, and
Yeah.
she don't follow what I say. Right?
I think it's a bit of a running theme
No,
here.
it's beautiful. Also because we have same, seriously speaking, it's the same ideas about the opera, the bel canto.
Yeah.
We are both passionate in this form of art.
Yeah.
And so we have a very common point of view. This Cilega, this put us together more strongly.
Yeah.
Than to have something different.
It must be easier to understand each other's lifestyles and schedules and things like that
Yes,
as well.
yes.
All right. And your wife has founded an opera company in Korea, and she's doing a lot to try and popularize opera here in Korea.
Yes.
How's that going, and what do you think of her efforts?
I think it's a very important job for her country. Also because she is bringing this art that is very, very loved from Koreans there.
Yeah.
My wife, like many Koreans, came to Italy and go in other countries to study opera.
Yeah.
So the Koreans feel very much this kind of singing drama. And she has the fortune to have, she lived 30 years with me in Italy.
Yeah.
And she understands very well the Italian culture. And Italian, we said, is the country where the opera was born. It was very original. So she tried to bring all this experience in Korea to make up the performance in her country. She, of course, has her country is working for the Koreans to do better level in the opera. And I try to help also this because I think it's very, very good thing.
Right. So you've been quite supportive in her efforts, and you even jointly staged The Tale of Chunhyang, which is
Yes.
Korea's first original opera
Yes.
ever. How did that come about? How did you come to produce that particular opera?
It was a festival of Korean opera,
Yeah.
and she proposed me to conduct this opera. I was very curious and interested because I understand that the Koreans love so much the opera that they arrived to produce their own opera.
Yeah.
Also, if this was one of the first experiments, and the music was quite simple,
Yeah.
But also this is a very, very beautiful story, like a kind of Traviata in Korean, all the love, and they try to disturb to, and the love then in the final wind. It is always positive message to the audience. And I enjoyed very much this. I know that there are many developing, and there is a big repertoire of Korean operas that is growing more and more.
So you've done producing of an opera, you obviously are a world-renowned conductor, but these days you're also imparting your knowledge and experience to other musicians here in Korea as well. So we're going to watch a quick video now to see you in a classroom setting.
Even when he has his hands full with upcoming performances, Carlo Palleschi never neglects to spend time with his students.
Stop. You knyang beat tempo. No control, no imagination. Also beginning. Inside. Etc. And dramatic. This chord, excuse me. This chord. Okay.
He helps them open their eyes and ears to the music and reminds them that even the subtlest differences can lead to completely different results. He's a well-known perfectionist who memorizes the entire score, even every performance, and this is one of the many reasons his students admire and respect him as a conductor and mentor.
음악을 전체적으로 따뜻하게 해석하시는 그리고 그렇지만 굉장히 악보에 정확하게 그렇고 또 특히 오페라 분야에 있어서는 탁월하신 선생님이라고 생각합니다.
손끝 하나에서도 음악이 나오는 그러니까 예비박에서 그 다음 음악이 어떤지 느껴질 수 있는 지휘 스타일이에요. 음악을 끌어가는 사람으로서 굉장히 중요한 역할이구나. 그런 거를 선생님 뵈면서 많이 느끼고 있어요.
He stresses the importance of understanding the composer's intentions and makes every effort to get the message across.
선생님이 원하는 방향으로 끌어가시면서 그걸 또 유쾌하게 해서 그 성악가 선생님들이나 그 뭐 연주자들이 자기 실력을 끄집어낼 수 있게 긍정적인 에너지 그런 거가 있어서 그런 점을 많이 배우고 싶어요.
모든 곡마다 새롭게 새로운 시각으로 그 작곡가에 맞춰서 이해하시고 거기에 맞춰서 음악을 끌어내시는 그 힘을 그리고 그 파워, 그 열정 그리고 그런 것을 배우고 싶습니다.
So the history of Korean opera is very brief compared to Italy or the rest of Europe. The infrastructure for opera here is quite inadequate as well. There are only a few opera houses in the country. What do you think is needed in order to advance Korean opera?
I think that you should organize some opera house with production, especially from opera, because we have many hundreds of very, very, very high-level singers.
Right.
They come to Italy, they win all the competition. Italy people are very hungry because in one competition there are 4 Korean winners and 1 Italian. Sometimes you
all those prizes.
Also because Korea produce very good sound.
Right.
And so you have a lot of professional singers.
Yeah.
But the problem they go back in Korea and to live they have to teach. I think they won't study to sing.
Right.
It should be better to have some opera house with maybe professional cast there. I think normally the singer have to dedicate exclusively to sing, only to sing, and save time and voice just to perform,
right.
also to grow like professional. And in the last part of the life, after 60, when they cannot more sing anymore, they can teach. It is better teaching when you are old, you have more experience.
Right.
Comparing that with teaching when we are 30 years old. So I hope building some opera house and system of opera performing theaters.
Right. So right now, the many talented singers in Korea, their potential is kind of limited due to the lack of venues and the system itself in Korea. So hopefully that will change in the near future. And I know you and your wife are doing your bit to make that happen. And hopefully that will mean many more opportunities for young, aspiring opera singers and musicians. Could you offer any words of advice to those young, aspiring musicians and singers?
Yes, I think they must express and research the heart of the music.
Okay.
This is the most important, because nowadays, also in the competition, is very important the technique quality, and the technique is becoming something of the most important thing, to be perfect, to don't do mistakes. I think to forget about this. Of course, technique is important. We need technique, but it's important to be expressive, expression, something, to understand the human message of the heart, and try to bring a spiritual message when you are singing, when you are acting, when you are playing, when you are conducting, to upgrade to another level.
Right.
And this can help the humanity to grow, because, like said, the world very famous conductor Bernstein, he said, with the music, you cannot win a war. You cannot change some kind of history in the field, but you can change the human being, and changing the human, their soul, and you change also the story then. So it's very important.
Okay. So once you have your technique up to a certain level, throw that all away.
Yes. And then
just let it overflow.
Think higher. Think
higher. Transcend technique. Okay. So, I mean, I can really see that you have such a great passion and love for opera.
Yes.
But what would you say it means to you? What does opera mean to you in your life?
Not only opera. I have passion for all the music. Opera is only a field of the music, and the music accompanied my life always, and did my life more rich. For me, it's very important, because if you see a movie can be very beautiful, but sometimes it's beautiful also because there is a very special music. If you take out the music from this movie, the same video scene become more poor. So I'm thinking back to my life without music.
Right.
Could be the same, but with the music it's different. It's like a kind of fourth dimension.
Right.
Not really. I lived in 4D with the music. So it was very...
That's a good way of putting it. So it's basically enriched your life.
Yes. You are very, very lucky to work in this field.
It's an all-encompassing field. So you're a world-famous conductor already, and you're still only in your 50s, which is very young in the conductor world, you said earlier. What's next for you?
To continue to do music, and I hope to always higher level with good singers, good orchestra, and in a way that I can express more. And doing the music, like I said before, bring some good ideas, some emotion, and to do a present for the audience, for the other people, to enrich their life with this kind of art. And in this way, for my very little, to do something to do the humanity better than is now.
Very wise sentiments. Great to hear. Well, I'm sure that our viewers today will have been inspired by your lifelong dedication and passion for opera and for music in general. And hopefully it will have sown some seeds of interest in opera in particular. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been absolutely wonderful having you and to learn about opera. Thank you so much.
Thank you.